so what if it was 308 feet and the shortest home run in the StatCast era? I mean, to that point, the Angels had still given up 9 runs. A win is a win. Everyone's complaining about it's a cheap win. No, it's not. When you score that many runs, hey, it's fair for both teams. Angels could have hit a few if they wanted. Another edition, Thursday style, of Red Sox Now, presented by FanArch. Here on YouTube, I'm your host, Mike Antonellis. Ceddanne Rafaela, that's 3 straight games with a home run. I mean, he really continues to hit, and the Red Sox salvage the final game. And you know what is interesting? With the schedule, the way it is, where you play everybody, wins against everyone matters because the Red Sox are now in front of the Angels, and they're 4 back of the wild card despite all of the crap that has been going on with this team, including, and I want to touch on this, that pregame scuffle with Jose Flores and Tyler Anderson. And it was because Tyler Anderson was mad about them picking up that he was tipping his pitches. I seen a lot of people mad at Flo, as we call him. He was in Worcester. You don't, as a player, and Ron Washington, I wouldn't be surprised if they fine Tyler Anderson for this or they suspend him. Players cannot go on the field when the Red Sox were working. He had a fungo bat. They were probably doing early infield work or taking infield. Players cannot go on the field and yell at coaches. That is a complete lack of disrespect. So whatever you think, and you could say, well, you know, Jose Flores he should be the bigger man. No, he has every right to do that. Players cannot do that. And I'm telling you, Ron Washington's old school. There is no way he is happy. And I guarantee you he sat down, and we'll probably read more about this. He aired out Tyler Anderson for that. You can't do that. I've asked some baseball people. Players are not allowed to do that. It's Bush League, and I have no problems with what happened. You know, learning after what happened. But anyways, Red Sox win it. The bullpen, again, I've had people telling me this bullpen's not very good. I mean, are you kidding me? They go 7 1/3. They give up 2 runs. I mean, from start to finish, this bullpen to me is you'd have 5 more losses without a lot of these guys. And conversely, if you had a starting rotation of the Tigers, even with the lineup that many of you don't love now, you'd have 8 to 10 more wins. And you can say I'm fabricating all you want. Go look at Detroit. I mean, this is the problem. We ignore over and over and over for some reason. In the age of the internet, in the age of just, you can look up things. If you do not think the starting pitching is a big reason, you can tell me, you can give me Trevor Story, you can give me the Casas, you can give me all of that. You can still win without hitting at a high level. And the Red Sox scored 11 runs yesterday, and they had 10 hits the night before. And they have a lot of guys stepping up. You can still win with this lineup if you pitch a little bit. And again, you've gotten really nothing from Giolito. You got nothing from Houck. Fitz got hurt. Crawford has given you nothing because he's been hurt. I thought Dobbins was pretty good, and then you decided that you had to bring back Fitz, and now Fitz is in AAA because you realized that was not the good move. Bayo's hasn't given you much lately. Buehler got hurt. You got really one guy. This can't continue. And if you don't think that's the major issue, you're not following the game closely. And I don't mean to be harsh, but it's just, I see all these things. You're obsessed with the Roman Anthony thing. Like it's getting absurd again. We're going back to absurdity. Jeff Passan going on Section 10 and saying the Red Sox would have a bunch of more wins if Roman Anthony was there. How do you know that? How do you quantify that? Because he's been hitting in AAA? I love Roman Anthony. Superstar to me. But you can't tell me that one offensive player would give you a bunch of wins. You don't know that. That's a lot to put in him, like I've said. But it doesn't matter if your starter goes an inning and 2/3 and gives up 8 hits and 7 runs. It doesn't matter. And again, I haven't heard any good solutions to get him in the big leagues. Now, I think the path that you'd go by is if you got rid of Story, if you DFA'd Story, but we know in the business that doesn't happen a lot. And again, I will say it over and over and over again. An outfield of Anthony in left and Duran in center, and taking Rafaela away from that is not good to me. When you're trying to win games and you're in all these close games, you're going to weaken your defense even more unless Rafaela plays short. That's the only position I'd be okay with. But again, you were very lucky to win that game yesterday. And if the starting pitching doesn't get better, it's not going to matter if Roman Anthony's in the big leagues. We have to get that through our heads, and we can't, for some reason, we just are reluctant to ever go to the pitching end. We are just obsessed with hitting in lineups, and I get it. It's sexy. We play video games. We like to hit. I get all of that. But here's an example to prove my point. The Yankees don't have Garrett Cole and Luis Gil. Though you could argue, I mean, those two guys are better than any two. I take Crochet over those two, but Cole and Gil are better than anything you have. Anything. And Cole's not pitching this year, and Gil is going to be back soon, but their 1 and 2 starters are out this long, and look where they are. If you lost your 1 and 2 starters, the Red Sox would be worse than Baltimore. But, I mean, the Yankees are a great example of, and they brought in some really good veterans. But let's get to some really good stuff. I mean, Abraham Toro. I mean, the guy's hitting .304. It's almost at 70 at-bats. He's played a pretty good third base when he's had to. I know people disagree with that. I went and looked at all of his plays at third. For a guy that primarily played first in the big leagues and then he had to go over to third, but he's been really good for you. He had 2 more hits, 2 RBIs yesterday. Narvaez is a possible candidate to make the All-Star team. He had 2 more hits. David Hamilton, when he continues to start, he hits. He has been in a pretty good groove when he's starting. 2 more hits, 2 RBIs for him. Abreu had 2 hits, 2 RBIs. The Red Sox offense lately has done enough to win games, which is strange, right? But it's the pitching and, the defense and base running. But I am really impressed with Abraham Toro, who I got to saw a lot in Worcester. And you lost Bregman, and basically that's the spot. Meyer, I know Meyer's taking the spot, but offensively, you needed a spark, and that's the guy that's been giving it to you, and that's why they've scratched the plans with Campbell. So that, to me, is great to see. Not sure if you saw this. MLB Network put a trade of Skeens to Boston. Would Pittsburgh do that if it was Anthony, Meyer, and Campbell? A lot of you would not do that, which is crazy. It's absolutely, it's getting to the point now with these prospects, you guys are way over the top. Prospects were suspects 2 years ago. Now, every one of them, you don't want to get rid of any of them. You'd be crazy if you were the Red Sox. As a Red Sox fan, you can't, this is the reason you do this. If Paul Skeens is a free agent, he cost you what? $400 million, $500 million? He's a controllable guy. He's a top 5 arm in the game. You can buy outfielders. You could buy a Roman Anthony in free agency, left fielder, a second baseman. You can get position players, but arms are hard. Some of the top arms in the game are impossible. Skubal's not going anywhere. The Tigers draft, think about that. He's never going anywhere. I know some really good pitchers have gone somewhere, but that's due to the Crochet and Sale were in bad spots, but it still took you 4 prospects to get Crochet. But I don't think either, I think the Red Sox would do that deal. If you had a 1-2 punch of Crochet and Skeens controllable, it changes your whole dynamic. And a lot of you wouldn't do that for some reason. It's crazy. It's crazy. If you have 2 pitchers like that, there wouldn't be any teams in baseball would have a 1-2 punch like that. You'd have to do that, but I don't think the Pirates would not do that. They'd want 25-man guys. You'd have to put in Duran, maybe Abreu, maybe more. That is too good of an arm, and it was interesting MLB Network put that out there. That's I don't think ever going to happen, but we'll see. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Red Sox are off, back at it in New York on Friday. We'll talk all about it. Tomorrow we'll preview that series, Sox and Yankees. Thanks for watching Red Sox Now. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment on the channel, and follow me on my socials at The Radio Mike.